everyone, and welcome to my pre-Christmas book haul. So my tote bag is not full actually. I've only got 2 physical books to haul, but I also have a ton of ebooks because I went a little bit overboard in terms of ebooks because they all went on sale, and I figured seeing as we're coming up for Christmas now, I'm probably going to be getting a few books for Christmas. So what I thought I'd do is do like a pre-Christmas book haul, so then in the new year I can do a Christmas book haul essentially. So let's get going. First thing I have is Bloodmarked. This is the sequel to Legendborn. This one is a King Arthur retelling set in modern times, and I loved the first one. I was meant to read this in November the second it arrived, but time ran away from me essentially, so I'm going to be reading this in December, and I am so excited. I've heard so many amazing things about this. I cannot wait. And then the other physical thing I have is The Demon in the Woods. This is a Shadow and Bone graphic novel focusing on the Darkling. So it says the Darkling's origin story comes alive in this exquisitely illustrated prequel to Shadow and Bone, and this is like the artwork in here. I have admittedly not read this yet either. I am actually waiting for series 2 of Shadow and Bone to come out, then I will be reading this, and I'm very excited because, like everyone, I watched the show and fell in love with the Darkling, and I just want to know more about him, and I love a graphic novel, so very excited to finally read this. And I've just checked under the dust jacket, and ooh, look at that. That is very shiny and very pretty. How did I not check that before? I'm an idiot. I should have checked that before. Is there anything on the other side? No. But that is pretty. I really should have checked that, but that is gorgeous. I love that. Now I'm going to be going off of my phone because that's where all my ebooks are. So the first one I got was The Air Affair by Jasper Fforde. This one is the first one in the Thursday Next series, and this one is following Thursday Next, who is basically a literary detective, and that means that she tries to solve crimes that are happening in books. So things like Jane Eyre has gone missing and things like this, and Thursday Next is trying to solve it. Now, Abby of Pelennor has been raving about this series for ages now, so while it was on sale I decided to pick it up. It sounds really interesting. I've been loving book magic recently with reading things like Tilly and the Book Wanderers, Inkheart, all of that kind of thing, so this sounded like another one along those kind of lines in terms of being able to jump into books, reading people out of books, all of that kind of thing. Just book magic essentially. So I'm very excited to be reading this one and seeing what all the hype is about essentially. I then also got Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This one I've heard people raving about left, right and centre. Is a retelling of The Goose Girl, and that's all I really know. I've just heard people absolutely raving about it, so while it was on sale I decided to give it a go and see what the hype is about. Next one I have is Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin, and this one is a post-apocalyptic zombie book that's following trans women and trans men in a grotesque journey of survival. I do not usually read horror. I am a complete and utter wimp, but I really want to give it a go because I've started actually watching like slashers and slightly more spooky films and TV shows and things like this, so I figured I'd also give some books a go essentially because I have been reading a lot of horror manga recently, or this year. I started this year by reading a lot of horror manga and then my library ran out, but I figured I'd also sort of step into the book side of things as well. This one I've heard amazing things about. I've heard a lot of people talking about it, and it just sounds like fun. I think it's something to do with zombies and things like this. I can't remember. It's been very high on my wish list for a while, so I decided to finally give it a go and buy it and then use it in Gothtober. I will fit this somehow into Gothtober 2023. Somehow. I don't know how I'll do it, but I'll do it. I then also have Claribel A. Ortega's Ghost Squad at last. I've been waiting to buy this book for ages. I was holding out that I was going to see it somewhere in some bookshop somewhere in the UK and have not had any success whatsoever. I have not found it anywhere. I've looked everywhere. It's either out of stock or just not being sold here, so I went, screw it, I'll just buy the ebook because I've given up at this point. And this one is essentially described as Coco meets Stranger Things with a hint of Ghostbusters, which I'm here for. I'm a massive fan of Stranger Things, and I also quite like Ghostbusters in a few cases. I don't like all the movies, but there we go, and I've never actually seen Coco. But this one is essentially following a family who can see ghosts, and our main character accidentally awakens a malicious spirit which wreaks havoc through St. Augustine, which just sounds like a really good time, really fun, kind of light-hearted, spooky, which may be what I need after reading Manhunt, I don't know, but it just sounded like such a good time. I've wanted it for ages, I gave up and I bought it. Even though it's not physical, I finally own it so I can finally read it. I also have Love Beyond Body, Space and Time. This one is a collection of short stories about love and being LGBTQI+, in the indigenous community and things like this. This is actually the Avengers Reading Challenge book for December, so I had to pick it up so I could read it as well. I have started it and I've only got one short story in so far, but it's already intriguing, so we'll see how things go from here. I then also got volumes 2, 3 and 4 out of Once and Future. This is like a King Arthur retelling kind of thing, but instead of our main characters being King Arthur, they're trying to stop King Arthur. And we're following this young guy who gets dragged into this fight to stop King Arthur, because King Arthur is actually not a good guy when he's resurrected, or at all anyway, and his grandmother drags him into this, and I love the first volume so much. It was so much fun. I love the magic of it, the world building, everything, so I'm very, very excited to finally have the next 3. The reason why I bought the next 3 was because they were £1.50 each, and they never usually go on sale. I've been waiting since I've read the first one back in like February for this to go on sale. It finally went on sale, so I was like, right, advantage, get all of the available ones. So I now have the next 3, and I'm going to be blasting through them all at some point, don't know when, but I will definitely be blasting through them at some point. And then the final comic I got was Saga Volume 1. Now, I have never read Saga, which is weird considering I'm such a graphic novel nerd. I've never read it. I never really had much interest in it because I thought it was a Romeo and Juliet retelling. And essentially it still is, but then Hannah from Ladder M, who I'll also leave a link to down below, said that it was also kind of like the TV show The Boys, and I love that TV show. And if you are going to sell me on anything, you'll tell me it's like The Boys, essentially. Tell me that and I will be sold immediately. And so it was on sale and I was like, well, I'm going to give this a go. I've heard it's going to tear my heart out, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm very intrigued, slightly nervous to read this one because obviously I don't do love stories that well, and I definitely don't do Romeo and Juliet that well, but if it's like The Boys, I should hopefully, fingers crossed, be fine, but we'll see. Either way, very excited to finally read this one because, I mean, everyone has read it at this point and now I feel like I'm missing out, so I'm very, very intrigued to finally give this one a go. And that is the end of this pre-Christmas book haul. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below, tell me what you have got recently. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me alien related emoji down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which will actually have nothing of what I've just mentioned on it, but never mind. I'll also leave a link as well down below to my Etsy and Redbubble store, which sells bookish merch if you're interested in that, including to this t-shirt and things like this. So if you're interested in that, I'll leave a link to it all down below. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time, everyone, bye!